Who's good pigs? Hi. So we're currently walking around what is going to be the forest pasture for the pigs. If you look around, you can kind of see a fence line behind me that then goes back over this way to the enclosure. So everything over here is going to be kind of their domain where they'll be able to be. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to run two types of wire around the perimeter of this. The lower one, approximately 6 inches off the ground, is going to be polywire. It's a thin rope and wire blend. It's a little bit more visible for the pigs, which is why we're going to put it in there. And then the top layer is going to be just a strand of 7-gauge aluminum. It's what we've been using now. The main reason switching to the poly wire instead of using the aluminum wire for both is that the poly wire is a little bit easier for the pigs to see, so they won't necessarily be bumping into it as often as if it was just aluminum. You can see on the inside of their pen here, I used orange flagging tape, and that just helps them see that aluminum wire a little bit better. They've gotten pretty used to seeing it, so I'm worried if I put them out without some of the orange flagging tape on the wire, they will run into it, but we'll see how it goes. We got a good bit of rain yesterday, so these guys are super psyched. Their pen went from being pretty dry and reedy to now it's definitely wet, a little bit muddy. I wouldn't want to keep them here forever, but they're pretty happy about it right now. They are so happy it's muddy in there. So the first thing we're going to do is walk the perimeter, make sure there's no stumps, sticks, large vegetation, anything in the way that might impede the wire and short it out to the ground. Running an electric fence is really pretty easy. You just need to make sure that there's nowhere that the fence itself is touching the ground, which would short out the signal. The other big thing is making sure that your ground is good at the Energizer unit. We've been using this fence for about a month now, and we know that it's pretty good. It's putting out over 9,000 volts. So I'm not too worried about that. But for this part of the fence, I just want to make sure that we're not shorting out the fence to ground anywhere, and there's no big vegetation in the way, or any huge dips or divots that the pigs are going to be able to get under. Here's where we're going to start. We're going to run up that way. You can see a T-stake there, and then a T-stake just beyond it. So walking this path, it's pretty clear. I came out and set this about a month ago, so it should be pretty good. From this T-stake, which is one corner, we're gonna go up this way. I'm actually gonna be using this tree and that tree as posts in the fence. I have some screw-in insulators that'll go into there. And then what we'll do when we log this out in the winter is we'll take those off, and that way we can sell those trees for timber. So now we're walking up this way. There's a log across here that I cut out. Then we get to this tree here, and you can see the rope heading off that way. Back in this section, there's a lot of vegetation. I'll probably come through tomorrow or the day after and spray this with Roundup to kill the vegetation. I know there's other ways out there, but we're trying to make this easy. So eventually we get down to this corner post, and then it ends right back at the corner of the pig pen. So now that we've got the poly wire all the way around, we're gonna step in a few of these white plastic posts that you see on the ground. They're gonna support the line in between the T-stakes and keep it at the right level above the ground. We don't want it too high off the ground, because if the pigs get shocked behind their eyes, what they'll do is they'll tend to go through the fence. We want it low enough where if they're rooting close to the fence and they end up hitting the wire, they're gonna get shocked on their snout in front of their eyes so that they back up. That's what I'm going to call it for today. We've got both lines up, all the white stakes in. Really, it's ready to go hot at this point and let the pigs out in it. I just want to be here and have a little bit more time when we do that to make sure that they get shocked so they know that they shouldn't go near it. We have some friends coming over, so we're going to hang out with them the rest of the night. But yeah, we'll catch back up with this video tomorrow. It's pig snack time.
No on the squash leaves?
All right, day 2. Getting the pigs on pasture. It's already hot. Got my water. And I think what we're going to do to start is get the hedge trimmer on the straight shaft and then go out and basically cut all the vegetation away from the poly wire. That way when I hook it up and I test it, I know if they get low voltage, it's a problem before the poly wire and not the poly wire shorting out somewhere. So let's get that set up. So this is just going to be a quick shot around the perimeter of the fence. Anything that's growing up from the bottom and touching the bottom wire is going to get taken out. You do have to be careful not to hit the wire with the hedge trimmers. Obviously that would suck, but we'll just go around now and clean up some of the smaller vegetation that's around the wire. All right, that's all done. I didn't film the whole thing because I figured you guys didn't need to see that. If you really want to see what it was like, just go back and watch that same little clip I put in again and again and again. I'm doing some thinking, and I think I am going to put some flagging tape on the poly wire. I just don't know if I'm convinced that they're going to be able to see this the first time we let them out into the pen. everything is flagged now. We just need to create a jumper now to go from the wire that's in the pig pen out to this wire. And then we can electrify it. All right. Okay, turn it on. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but we're getting 7,000 volts on this wire. All right, let's go test over here. Stick our ground in. .7,000 volts over here, and we're getting 7,000 volts on the top wire. So we're good on the fence. We are not getting any voltage drop across the whole thing, which is awesome. It's pretty dry out right now. It rained a couple days ago, but if this is how it continues to stay, I think it'll be just fine for keeping them in. Other than that, the last order of business is going to be to put a gate right over there in the hog panel. Honestly, I'll probably just accomplish that by cutting it with some bolt cutters and rigging up some sort of hinge on it.